Hello students. So in this lecture we are going to study about ionization gauge. Ionization gauge, okay, which is used for the measurement of vacuum pressure. Ionization gauge is the lowest pressure measurement device. Lowest pressure measurement device. It can measure pressure from 10 to the power minus 10 torr to 1 torr. It can measure pressure 10 to the power minus 10 torr to 1 torr. This is range of pressure which can be used for the measurement of ionization gauge. The basic principle involved in the case of ionization gauge is that the gas will be ionized. The gas will be ionized in this chamber. In this chamber, and the ions will be collected through this grid or ion collector. This is a plate, and this ion collector is connected to a negative battery supply. Okay, this is a negative side of the battery. It is connected with the grid or ion collector, and cathode is being heated up. Cathode is being heated up with a 400 volt battery. With a 400 volt battery, and cathode is generating electrons. Cathode is generating electrons, and these electrons are collected by this plate. These electrons are collected by this plate. Correct? So there is already a large number of electrons present in the case of ionization gauge, because you have already set the battery voltage of the cathode to 400 volt. Okay, 400 volt is a larger voltage range. Correct? So there is already large number of electrons present in the in this chamber, and those electrons are collected by the plate electron collector. So IE is in the range of milliampere. IE is in the range of milliampere. Now let us suppose there is large number of molecules present in this chamber. Okay, there is large number of molecules present in this chamber, and the cathode will ionize them. The cathode will ionize them. Means if number of molecules in this chamber is larger will be the ion current. Okay, because ionization means a positive and a negative, means electrons and anions are created. Electrons and anions are created, or in the language of chemistry we can say anions and cations are created. Anions and cations are created, and those are collected by the respective plates. Okay, means positive ions will be collected by this negative supply, because positive and negative will attract, and negative ions will be collected by the plate electron collector. Okay, because this is connected with the positive end of the battery. This plate is connected with the positive end of the battery. But if you want to measure small pressure, if you want to measure small pressure or vacuum pressure, means there is very less number of molecules present in this chamber. If there is very less number of molecules present in this chamber, then see there are already large number of electrons, right? If there are already large number of electrons, then if very less number of molecules will get ionized by this cathode, there will not be any significant change in this electron current, right? Because it is already very large. So there will not be much change in the electron current. But there will be change in the ion current. There will be change in the ion current, and this ion current will give you the measure of pressure applied through here. Okay, I hope the principle is clear here. Operation part is clear here. This is the instrument schematic. Every part I have dictated in the figure, and I just told you the operation. Let me revise you the operation part. Okay, so there is a large battery connected through the electron collector, and this is connected to the cathode. This is connected to the cathode, and it is being heated up. Cathode is being heated up, and electrons are generated. Electrons are generated. So electrons are generated, and these electrons are collected by the plate electron collector. There are already large number of electrons present in the chamber or in this circuit, and it is continuously being circulated in this closed circuit. Okay, correct. Now, if you are applying very low pressure to this point, very low pressure gas to this point, and the aim is to ionize the molecules of the gas. Molecules of the gas, the main aim is to ionize. That's why the name ionization gas, right? So once you ionize those molecules of the gas of which you want to measure the pressure, then there will be no significant change in the plate electron collector. There will be no significant change in the number of electrons generated due to ionization. Okay, there will not be significant change in the electron current. Okay? There will not be significant change in the electron current because there are already large number of electrons present in this circuit. Clear? Now, if molecules of the gas is ionized in this chamber, there will be some positive ions generated and there will be some negative ions generated. Right? Negative ions will be connected by this plate because those are electrons collected by this plate, and there will not be significant change in the electron current. There will not be any significant change in the electron current. Okay, and there will be positive ions generated. These positive ions will be collected by the ion collector, this plate ion collector, and there will be a change in the II. There will be a change in the II, and this II is in the range of microampere. This II is in the range of microampere, and measure of II, measure of II will give you the pressure applied to this PI, to this port. Okay, pressure applied to this port means II will be directly proportional to Pi. II will be directly proportional to Pi. Larger is the II, larger is the pressure. Larger is the II, larger is the pressure. Okay. So if my point is clear, so let me write II means ion current is very less than IE. This is in microampere. This is in milliampere. Second point. Second point is electron current, i.e., electron current is same for all the vacuum. Electron current will not be changed for this particular setup. Whatever vacuum gas is applied through this port. Okay, so I is same for all the vacuum. So I means ion current will be directly proportional to the number of positive ions generated, I, is directly proportional to number of positive ions generated, number of positive ions generated, and I, that's why I will be directly proportional to Pi. I will be directly proportional to Pi. So Pi, input pressure will be equal to I divided by Si is the formula. Pi is equal to I divided by S into IE. I is the ion current, IE is the electron current, S is the sensitivity of the gauge, and typical value of S is 20 torr inverse. Typical value of S is 20 torr inverse. How the S is determined? This is determined by calibration. S is determined by calibration. S is determined by calibration. S depends on many factors: the design of this particular equipment, design, material used, gas used, composition of the gas. So S is, so every time you have to measure pressure of different gases, you have to calibrate S. For every gas there will be different value of S. Okay. Advantage of the ionization gauge is there is linear relation between input and output. Between input and output, input is Pi and output is II. So Pi pressure and output II, there is linear relation. Okay, there is disadvantage of the ionization gauge. What is the disadvantage? That this filament, this cathode may burn out. Disadvantage. Disadvantage. If this filament is exposed to air by any means, if this filament is exposed to air, then this filament will burn out. This filament or cathode may burn out. This filament may burn out. Or the gas you are using in this chamber is such that it reacts with the cathode material. It reacts with the cathode material, then also there is problem. This cathode may burn out. This cathode or this filament may burn out. So this device is composition sensitive. Gas composition sensitive. This device is gas composition sensitive, and range is 10 to the power minus 10 torr to 1 torr, which is, this range is quite low, 10 to the power minus 10 torr to 1 torr. So it can measure least vacuum pressure. So the problem of the gas composition and the hazard part, means the burnout part, that's why you have Knudsen gauge. So after ionization gauge, we are going to study about Knudsen gauge. Okay. So guys, this is Knudsen gauge. Knudsen gauge is used for the measurement of vacuum pressure, and the most advantage of this Knudsen gauge is that this is relatively independent of the gas composition, unlike the gauge we have studied earlier. The gauge we have studied earlier was ionization gauge, and that ionization gauge that was dependent, or the ionization gauge was sensitive for the composition of the gas. This is not dependent on the gas composition. Other advantage of this Knudsen gauge is that the output of this Knudsen gauge is not electrical. The output of the ionization gauge was electrical. The output of the thermocouple gauge was electrical. The output of the before ionization Pirani, correct? Pirani gauge output was electrical, and the output of MacLeod gauge was not electrical. The output of the MacLeod gauge was length. We were measuring the length or height of the mercury column. So the MacLeod gauge of indicating type of instrument. MacLeod gauge was indicating type of instrument. So Knudsen gauge here is also indicating type of instrument, and the output of the Knudsen gauge is not electrical. Okay, this is on the scale, it is indicating the output. So this gauge is used as a standard instrument. This gauge is used as a standard instrument when the range of the MacLeod gauge is not that much low. The range of the Knudsen gauge is 10 to the power minus 8 to 10 to the power minus 2 torr, whereas the range of the MacLeod gauge is less than 1 torr, correct? Less than 1 torr, correct? 0.1 Pascal to 100 Pascal was the range of MacLeod gauge. Now, what is the principle involved here? What is the principle involved here? The gas will be filled in this chamber. The gas will be filled in this chamber, and there are three plates. There are three plates. This plate is fixed, and this plate is fixed, and a plate is in between, which is movable, and it is connected with this two springs from this structure. Okay, there are two springs, there are three plates. These two plates are fixed. This is lowest plate, this is upper plate, and this plate is in between. Okay, let me visualize you this. This is your two plates, and there is one plate in between. There is one plate in between, right? There is one plate here. Okay, so this plate is fixed, this plate is fixed, the plate in between is movable, correct? I hope my point is clear. So now the space between the fixed plate and the movable plate is less than the mean free path of the gas molecule. Okay, mean free path of the gas molecule. So distance between the fixed plate and movable plate is less than the mean free path of the gas molecule. Mean free path of the gas molecule, right? So this is the lowest plate. This is one plate which is fixed. This is one plate which is fixed, and there is a plate in between. So the plate in between and this plate, or the plate in between and this plate, the distance between these plates is equal, and that distance is less than the mean free path of the gas molecule. The distance is less than the mean free path of the gas molecule. Okay, clear? Now According to kinetic theory of gases, according to kinetic theory of gases, the momentum of the molecule of the gas, once it is collided with a heated object, will be greater than the, the molecule which is collided with the colder surface, right? So if this is heated and this is heated, the gas is entering from this port, okay, and now the molecules will be collided. The molecules will be collided. When the molecules will be collided from the heated plate, it will have larger momentum, and again it will be collided with the plate in between, which is the colder one, now when the molecule is collided from the heated plate, it will be collided to the plate in between, which is the colder one. Okay, so the momentum will be large. If momentum is large, then force will be large, right? So if the force will be large, if we are able to measure that force, if we are able to measure that force, then that will be your measure of pressure. That will be your measure of pressure. Now, for that force measurement, which is created by the collision of atoms or molecules to the movable plate, is measured by this mechanism. There is a mirror attached to the movable plate, right? And there is a bulb which is directly giving light to this mirror, now when this in between plate is moved by the collision of molecules, the light which is reflected from the mirror will be incident on the scale, and that will be your measure of pressure, right? So input pressure will be directly proportional to the force which is being generated by the collision of the molecule on the movable vane, correct? So Pi will be equal to Kf divided by under root Tf minus Tv minus 1, under root Tf divided by Tv minus 1. K constant, Tf absolute temperature of the fixed plate, absolute temperature of the fixed plate, of fixed plate. Tv absolute temperature of the movable vane or plate, absolute temperature of the movable vane. Okay, so this is how we will measure pressure in the case of Knudsen gauge. This is Knudsen gauge, and this is your last topic of vacuum measurement. After this topic, we are going to solve some numericals, and then whole chapter will be finished. All right. Thank you.